Hey YouTube fam, welcome to another episode of Code with Annie. And this is the second episode in Programming with Java series. And like we saw in the last episode, just a quick recap, we saw the history of Java, the origin, the current world usage of Java, and we also looked a little bit into JDK, JRE, and JVM. So continuing through in this second video, we are going to take a look at how we can model this world, the real world objects that we see around us with the help of Java. All right. So let's take an example and go ahead with this one. So seeing the world through the lens of Java. Let's say when you go to a bank, right? Let me open up the ID. Go to a bank. So what do you see in a bank? In a bank, you see customers, you see employees. Let's take these two examples. Okay. So any real world object that you see in around you can be modeled into a Java class, basically. So let's say you see an customer in a bank, right? So let's take a Java class customer. Okay. A class basically is the model of what you see as a real world object around you. So let's take a class customer. Okay. And customer will have what are the properties of a customer? The customer will have an ID, right? Okay. Customer will have a name, right? Customer will have what else will he have? ID, name, he will have purpose of visit. Okay, that may be a string. So you visited for putting an FD, visited for creating a PPF account, visited for withdrawing some money. So there is some purpose of visit. Okay. So for the sake of simplicity, let's just keep three properties for the customer who comes into the bank. All the properties are what you see here listed in as variables. Okay. Now, for every customer, there is also a behavior, right? Customer will perform some activity or some action, right? That behavior in the real world, which we call as the behavior of the customer, in the world of Java or in the world of object-oriented programming, we call that as methods. Okay, let me define a method. So, for example, a customer can, what he can do withdraw money, right? So we can have, let's say, private or sorry, public, okay, double withdraw money. Okay, given an account number. So let's say he has an account number and account number. Okay, I'm just putting an int. It could also be string. That's fine. We'll come to the data types later, right? So he will return back the money that he withdraws, right? So this is one behavior of the customer, withdraw money, right? You can have other behaviors like public void create PPF account, right? Create PPF account. He just has to give the customer ID, or you don't have to even do. So let's say this is the behavior. Okay, he just creates a PPF account. What other things he can do? So anything the customer can do is called as a behavior of the customer, and that is listed as methods in Java class. So class is what defines the customer in the world of Java, and all the behaviors are modeled through methods in Java. And all the properties are written as variables here. Okay. So as soon as a customer walks in, I'll have the information of his ID, his name, purpose of visit, and based on that, some decisions will be made. Now, likewise, if I say a bank employee, right? Okay. So this is a bank employee that you see. Okay. What does a bank employee have? Bank employee also has an ID, also has a name. Sorry. Okay. But instead of purpose of visit, the bank employee will have, let's say, mm, he might be having a counter where he's working, right? So let's say private string counter. Okay. So he'll be sitting on either FD counter or he'll be sitting on the PPF creation counter or he'll be sitting in withdrawal counter. So whichever counter is, he'll have a counter assigned to him, he or she. So what is the behavior of a bank employee? What does a bank employee do? So a bank employee can perform following actions. He can say public void. Again, as we define the behavior, we define the methods. So he can say public double. What do we define for customer? We define withdraw money, right? So this guy can say public double get customer balance. Okay, based on account number. So customer has to provide him some account number and he can get the balance. Or rather, we can simply say customer. So it just a customer comes to the bank employee, he gives his identification, or he can simply say the entire customer object to get the customer balance. Or in simpler words, let's just say we have the customer ID, just the customer ID alone, right? Then that is in that case, you can just simply say int customer ID, and he will get back the balance that he's having in his account. Okay. So likewise, he can check the balance, he can create account for people, right? What else he can do? Create account. For that, you just have to give the customer information to him, right? He can create an account. Likewise, he can, what are the things the bank employees? So certain things the bank employees do may not directly be interactive with the customer. For example, he can perform monthly audits, month end audit, right? Usually the banks will have an audit period during which they'll find out what are the non-performing assets in the bank and all those things. So that is a bank specific thing that the employee will do. So the employee caters to both the bank and the customers, whereas the customers directly interact with the bank employee. So that's the reason why there's a difference in behavior for both the customer and the bank employee. So what you see here is basically modeling real world objects into classes in Java and defining the behaviors through methods in Java. Okay. So this is the fundamental aspect of looking at the OOP world through the lens of Java, object-oriented programming world through the lens of Java. Now, if this concept is clear, then we'll go ahead in the next video and discuss more about how we can have different OOP principles applied in Java. Like there are multiple principles: abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, data binding. So there is a lot of different concepts, and each concept will be covered in a different video. So we end this video now at this note that this is how you translate a real world object into a programming object. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Feel free to hit the like button if you like this. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one.